Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Tired.
Hey, all you Minties, Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions, and join me today for your advanced look at the Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang Omnibus from DC Comics. This is the 2023 printing. So, let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. So what we're looking at today is the Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang Omnibus. This is the 2023 edition, so it's the latest printing. So technically this is the second printing. The first printing I want to say came out in 2018, 2019, but this is the latest printing, although you can still find the first printing out there. But it's just something that both Marvel and DC do from time to time, and that's reprint a book that, even though you still see them out there in the book market or even in the direct market, doesn't mean that it's not out of print from the distribution level. Here's your spine, Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang Omnibus, this beautiful piece of Diana down there, and then the DC logo, and the back of the book right here with Diana just wielding a golden gun instead of a golden lasso. What's that about? The book retailing for $150. And we're going to look underneath the dust jacket here in a little bit and look at the flaps. But this stuff has been collected before. Not just in a previous printing of the Omnibus, and of course single issues, but also in absolute editions. And these two gorgeous absolute editions. Oh, got them backwards. There we go. Now, there we go. But everything that is in here is collected in here. It's also been collected in a series of 6 trade paperbacks or standard size hardcovers. These 6 right here to be precise. This is also during the era of the New 52. Now, it does continue. The story does continue into those 3 trade paperbacks right there, 7, 8, and 9. I say story, but not really, because these kind of start over anew. And honestly, they start retconning some of the things that happen in here, because this really does feel like an all-in-one type of omnibus. And I'm going to be talking about the stories collected in here, and let's shift the focus back on the omnibus, but looking at all those trades makes me want to do a Wonder Woman reading order next. Here's what the flaps look like. So I guess for the third time, I'll put it up on the Patreon after I'm done with Transformers. See if Wonder Woman wins. Maybe I'll put it up against the Avengers. She's dual wielding the golden guns right there. I love this piece right here by Cliff Chiang. And this is what the underneath the dust jacket looks like. I really like these colors. It's almost greenish color right here. She really pops out. The spine is actually reversed though. It looks like it's green up at the top and black at the bottom. So that's really cool. I like when they make little changes like that. And everything that I've seen as far as the book and the page count is the exact same as the 2018-2019 printing. Just the price difference. I think that one was $125. This one is $150. So we're going to crack this book open and talk about the stories in here, kind of giving you the premise of the story without going too much into spoilers. I'll keep away the big spoilers, but I will say this: if you don't even like any kind of spoilers, do not read the back of the book, or this right here, telling you a little bit what's in here, because I think one of the big twists is kind of ruined there. But I mean, if you don't care about spoilers or anything, then yeah, feel free to read that. All right, let's check this out. This does have a glossy finish to it. You have some red end sheets here with the stars pattern there. And Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang Omnibus. This amazing image right here of her and some of the important characters in this particular story. Your credits are Brian Azzarello, Cliff Chiang, Tony Atkins, Dan Green, Kano, Rick Burchett, just to name a few of the artists. The color is Matthew Wilson, and Nick Filardi, and then the letter Jared K. Fletcher. Here's your table of contents telling you where you're going to find each of the stories and where it originated from. All of the stories were written by Brian Azzarello and drawn by Cliff Chang, colored by Matthew Wilson, and lettered by Jared K. Fletcher, unless it's noted. So, for example, here with Wonder Woman issue number 5 and 6, those were drawn by Tony Akins. And then later on, you'll see artwork in here from Rick Burchett and Dan Green doing inks, and just to name a few. The last story that wraps everything up is the secret origin of Wonder Woman. So let's talk about what is collected in here. This collects issues of Wonder Woman 0 through 35 and 23.1. Keep in mind, this is from the relaunch of the DC Universe, so it's the New 52 era, so it's after Flashpoint. So after Flashpoint, DC in 2011 decided, okay, we're going to start over with a new origin for a lot of these characters. We're going to have 52 titles, and they did. At the launch, there were 52 titles coming out from DC Comics every month, including Batman. Now, Batman didn't really get a reboot, neither did Green Lantern, and some characters had kind of like a soft reboot. But characters like Superman and Wonder Woman had a big reboot. And that's what we are going to be talking about. So, at the very beginning, we see this particular strange looking guy. Looks like a demon. And I'll explain who that is here in a little bit. It doesn't really reveal much of the plot, but kind of what the premise is. And he's talking to these young ladies right here who aren't really that bright. And he's like, oh yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. I'm the son of a king. Now, he does say son instead of son. So, you may catch that. And they're like, oh, you'll be king one day. But he's like, well, you know what? My father, he's kind of gone missing, and we really don't know what he's doing now. He's able to lift these young ladies up, and you'll see exactly what's happening towards the end of the first issue. All right, next we see in Virginia at a horse stable. Now, if you're an animal lover and you can't stomach the thought of any animals getting hurt, maybe not the book for you. I'll just say that because there are obviously animals getting hurt in this. As a matter of fact, what this character does with the peacock feathers is cut these horses' heads off so that centaurs could be reborn. Next, we see this character right here run into the house and trying to warn Zola, this young lady who doesn't even know who this guy is, that she has to leave because they are after her and her child. And she just keeps saying, get out of my house. He gets shot by an arrow. And she's like, what the heck is going on? Here comes those centaurs that were born out of the horses' corpses, decapitated corpses at that. He gives her a key, and she immediately teleports to London, where Wonder Woman is laying in bed, completely nude. If I was Wonder Woman and looked like that, I'd be sleeping in the nude too. But she's like confused as to how she got there. Wonder Woman doesn't know who she is, and she just shows her the key that a strange man gave her. And I'll be explaining a little bit here in a second as to who some of these people are. So Wonder Woman, of course, gets her battle armor on, and she's like, wait a minute, you're Wonder Woman. And she's like, Diana, and you're safe here. Give me the key. But instead of just giving Diana the key, Zola takes off with her to battle. So I thought that was pretty cool. This is a brand new character we're meeting. And we see Wonder Woman immediately use her bracelets as a form of defense from this arrow that is shot at her. These centaurs come, and this Wonder Woman is a little bit different. This Wonder Woman doesn't seem to care about killing characters. So she is just like slicing these centaurs up and with the means of killing them. And saves Zola with the lasso of truth. Doesn't use really the lasso of truth to make her say the truth or anything. But just uses it to kind of save her. Then we see this guy come out with the arrow. He pulls the arrow out. You can see the wings on his feet. They have been wounded. And it turns out that this is Hermes, and him and Diana know each other. He comes from Olympus, and of course she comes from Themyscira. The important thing to note about this particular Wonder Woman is this takes place after the events of the New 52 Justice League by Jeff Johns and Jim Lee. Those first 6 issues that kind of what are they? It's called Origin. That's kicked off the New 52 Justice League because that Wonder Woman was a little naive. That Wonder Woman wasn't a battle expert, and this Wonder Woman is a complete badass. So she saves him, and she's like, "What exactly is going on?" By the end of the first issue, you get to find out a little bit more about this guy. So it turns out that this is Apollo, and what he did with these ladies is he's using them as kind of his own group of soothsayers, so people that can tell the future, people that can see what exactly is going on. But he didn't pick the brightest ladies, so they're kind of talking nonsense at first. And what you get out of this is that there is a prophecy about a god, an offspring of Zeus, that is going to be the demise of another offspring of Zeus, and then pretty much rule Olympus. That is the prophecy. In the previous page, you find out through Zola when she's like, "Why did you come running in there and say that they're after me and my child? I don't have any kids." And he's like, "You are pregnant." And who's the father? Zeus. So maybe that might have something to do with the prophecy. So in the second issue, we see who was wearing the peacock feathers, and that is the lady Hera, the goddess Hera, wife of Zeus. And you find out a little bit more about her and how she's jealous of Zeus just sleeping around and fathering all these kids with all these different women. She doesn't really see humans as humans or any kind of life form. She kind of sees them as toys. And here we meet Strife. And Strife honestly feels like a character like much like Loki, very mischievous and kind of manipulative of not just Hera but some of the humans as well. So Diana returns back to Themyscira to kind of warn her mother, Hippolyta, about the coming of Zeus and his gods because they're after this baby or this prophecy. So you get to find out a little bit about the origin of Diana here, how she came from clay, and I'll skip a little bit here because there's a couple of twists and turns with that. So the idea behind this is to have Wonder Woman team up with the different deities that are willing to help her and take care of this unborn child. And the kid is eventually born, and now she has to take care of this kid along with Zola and Hermes and a couple of other characters that pop in and out. So Apollo is now trying to meet with different gods, trying to figure out if he's the one that's supposed to take over. He meets with Ares right here, who's this old broken man, and he's got blood on his legs, and everywhere he walks there's just bloody footsteps. And every god has been reimagined. This isn't your typical traditional look for these particular characters. When you think of, or at least when I thought of characters like Hermes, I think of course, the designs by George Perez. And that will forever be, for me, what Olympus looks like, what the gods look like. And of course, that was inspired by art, statues, and paintings. But these gods right here feel like they live in upstate New York. They go to all kinds of art shows together. They're the part of the uppity crowd, especially when you get to the character of Strife and Hera. It almost feels like the Endless, like I'm reading about the Endless and less gods. And even characters like Poseidon, for example, look a lot different. Like this is the Poseidon in the New 52 era of Wonder Woman. And that's really cool. And that's what I liked about this particular run. The gods have been reimagined, and Cliff Chang's amazing artwork just makes this into such a fun page turner. This has a lot of horror elements, a lot of violence, and like I said, this Wonder Woman isn't afraid to kill. As a matter of fact, she does a couple times through these pages here, and this is Hades right here. Again, reimagined as a different type of character. Zola plays a very important part because she is pregnant with the offspring of Zeus, but like I said, there's a couple of twists and turns that might not be the reason why Hera is after her and why all the gods are after her. Through these pages, you'll see Diana just lose family, but gain new family and new friends. It's just a really fun book. and a wonderful introduction to the mythos of Wonder Woman and DC. Now, there is some DC in here. Don't expect a team up with Batman. Don't expect a team up with Superman. That's another thing that I really liked about this. It really felt like a standalone pocket universe almost of Wonder Woman. Artemis looking a little bit different right there than what most people were probably used to from the 90s. So characters have been reimagined, origins have been redone. Wonder Woman's origin is a little bit different. There's a little bit of clay in the background, but it could be something else going on. And not just gods, other villains show up through here, but it's mainly a war upon the gods. Now, you will notice this character right here, because I did want to talk about this guy, and that is Orion. Now, Orion comes from the Fourth World, New Gods, Jack Kirby, looking a lot different, looking a little more modern. And now he's also joined by the High Father, who also shows up through here because, of course, New Gods got to go to battle with Olympus. We've seen that before. And a prophecy has to come true. So, yeah, that's practically what this is. I don't want to say anything else because I want people to enjoy it for what it is. I enjoyed it because of the horror elements and because it feels like a fresh jumping on point for the character of Wonder Woman. You don't need to read anything before this. You don't really need to read David Finch and Meredith Finch's run after this because the stories wrap up through this very omnibus right here. This has everything that you need. And yeah, let's actually go back to the beginning. The covers are all intact. They're all textless covers. And on the back, it'll tell you sort of what issue you're on, like part 11. That's issue 11. And you get like the black and white version of the cover, the monochrome color there. I really like the use of the gods that Brian Azzarello did. And it's interesting to see how people feel about it because whenever I made my video of the best places to start reading Wonder Woman, I saw some of the comments talking about how, this run, they didn't like what they did with what Brian Azzarello did with Wonder Woman, what they did with the origin of Wonder Woman. I will say for me, though, it worked. If we're looking at a new era, a modern era of Wonder Woman to introduce new readers to, I thought this was a great example of how to do it while still keeping some of that lore there. And if you're a Greek mythology nut, oh my gosh, you are going to absolutely love this stuff because it's like the peacock feathers and things like that. You would immediately know who that is. I wanted to come back to this right here because on the left-hand side is the original cover that was solicited for Wonder Woman #1. And the big difference, of course, is the pants. Now, I say big difference because I really don't care if she wore pants or if she wore those shorts or that particular outfit. But apparently a lot of people did. So much so that DC decided to change the look. Like, Cliff Chiang had to go back and redraw her without pants, or maybe it was the colorist that had to go in there. I mean, it was already done because when you get to issue 2, you see that she's not wearing pants. However, on the left-hand side, it was solicited with her wearing pants. Now, this isn't a big controversy video about should Wonder Woman wear pants or not. I think Wonder Woman should do whatever the hell she wants to. This is more of the power of the fans and how much push sometimes they have when it comes to social media because they took it to everywhere. And DC decided to change the look of her. I remember my friend Jessica, who doesn't even read comics, but was a fan of Wonder Woman, the TV show with Linda. Like how she saw the news article like in a magazine or something. She's like, are they really changing Wonder Woman's outfit? That's part of her outfit. I didn't even think she would care. But I guess even people that didn't even read comics cared about the big change. Now, what's interesting is like right before this, though, JMS did give her pants in his run, or towards the end of his run. And I think that outfit was designed by Jim Lee. There's the golden guns. All right, let's take a look at the extras. Here we have the sketchbook. So you have Hippolyta, Zola there, Strife, Ares, and Zeus, Hermes, other characters that I don't want to reveal. It's so beautiful. Yeah, Cliff Chiang is one of these artists that I've just grown to love over the years. First, I didn't really like the simplistic style, but the more he was able to do with his panel layouts and just his sequential art. I just fell in love with his artwork, and these are the sketches. They are here with the pants. Yeah, so you get the cover sketches for the different issues through here. He's also the artist and co-creator of Paper Girls. And I think by that point, I really had fallen in love with his art. So when I went back to read Wonder Woman, this particular run, through the Absolute editions, I was like, oh yeah, he is a solid artist. This is issue number 0. Cliff Chang doing the pencils and inks. And the layouts inside of Wonder Woman issue number 23 right there. And then variant covers all the way in the back. So new era of Wonder Woman, and there is your end sheets. Let's take a look at the binding. 928 pages. It is sewn binding. Not sure about the first printing, but this one here lays over fine. There's a little bit of gutter loss when there are some spread pages, but not much of one. Paper stock is this thick, glossy paper, just like the Batman Detective Comics by Peter Tomasi. Creepy imagery like that. What I was going to say is a minimal bleed through from the opposite page, if any, really. Maybe you could tell there's a caption box. No, it's that right there. But that's it. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this omnibus. And also what to read afterwards if you get really hooked and this is your first time reading Wonder Woman. If you pick this up in trade paperback, single issues, you have the absolutes, you have the original omnibus, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the story. And if this is one of your favorite jumping on points for the character of Wonder Woman. I would love to know all those answers in the comments section. And if you have any questions yourself, by all means, please leave them in the comments section. But that's it. Everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.